know the answer to this? Where did I show you to find the answer? The SOL card. Where though? Where? In the About section, but then once you get to the card, where do you have to go?
Click it. Oh, you scroll down and then it's going to say that number.
Right, but if I'm on the card, like here, okay? If I'm actually on the card, I'll show you here, right? Where? Where? Who can go up to the screen and point where I would find the answer to this question? Who can go up to the screen? Angelica, looks like you want. Go ahead. Go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead, give it a try.
Can I go?
Angelica's gonna do it. Go ahead. It's okay. Okay, where? Right here. Good. Okay, so who had their hand? So Amy, you wanted to go up, right?
No.
No? Who was that over there?
I don't know. I just
Andrew.
raised my hand. That was Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, so Andrew, would you tell us, would you go up to the screen and tell us what are the two ways? Go ahead and go up to the screen. Go up to the screen. Show me the two ways. Tell us what are the two ways that an amendment can get proposed.
By the Congress and by the state?
Yes, so by the Congress and by the, actually, let's correct that. So proposed, wait, Andrew, come on up again, okay? So I heard you say Congress, and I think I said that was correct until you said, when you said the second part. No, look at this, proposed, what does it say? Action by, right here, Congress and, or?
I can't read that.
Okay. What does that say? Anybody know? What does it say? Convention.
Yeah, that one.
Good. Okay. So the two ways that it gets proposed is by Congress and or convention. I'd like you to go into your warm-up. If you didn't have those two, I want you to go in and edit it and fix it. Go down. Okay. What do? You go back into your answer. You should be able to edit it. And those two ways are by Congress and or convention. So fix your answers. Go in and fix your answers. I'll give you a moment. You should be able to edit it. Who needs more time? Who needs more time to fix their answer? Okay, what are the two ways? Congress or convention, right? So, two ways that an amendment is proposed. First one is Congress or convention. This is how your answer should read, something similar to this. Please make sure you're making that change. Okay. Are we ready to move on? So, next thing I'd like you to do in Google Classroom again. Okay, I just put in a new assignment. I would like you to go and click on this. You will have a copy of your own here, okay, for this amendment process. Try it again. Natalie.
Yes.
I'm checking to see, we're checking to see who's actually on this page.
Which one?
And I'm using Hapara to see who's staying on this page when they need to. I'm looking at your screens from here. Are you all right? You getting there? Are you on there? Okay. Who needs more help getting on this? Okay, everybody's there. Good. Okay, so we're going to look at this first page here, and I know, how many of you recognize this from your interactive notebook? Raise your hand. You recognize probably the first two pages, yes. So they are from your interactive notebook, but I pulled them out, and we're just going to look at them today, okay? This is the process for an amendment. First, let's take a step back and review what is an amendment. Who can tell me what is an amendment? We have the Constitution, right? But then we have amendments. We talked about this before. What is an amendment? It is a change, right? So it is a change. It's a change to the Constitution. And this page asks us, how many amendments are there? How many do we have for the U.S.? 27. Good. So right there, you have a text box I would like you to fill in, right here. You could insert a text box there if there's I thought there was one in there, but you insert, right? And you go and get a, let's see, text box. Am I missing it? There, text box at the top. And then you can put a text box right here, okay? If there's one already. And in there, you should be putting 27. It is very small. You can make it bigger. Okay, you could make it bigger. Jeremy, you got it? Yeah. Okay, so 27. Okay? 27 amendments. We have 27 amendments. Now, think about it. Over 200 years, the Constitution has been with us. We have had the Constitution for over 200 years. But we only have 27 amendments. It's kind of surprising if you think about it. Only 27 changes. Okay? Now, when we talk about the proposal, when you hear that word proposal, what's that remind you of? Where else do you hear that word proposal? Yes. When somebody wants to marry somebody, right? They propose, like they had a marriage proposal, right? And what usually happens with a marriage proposal? What happens? What do you know about that? What? Yes. Yes, they're making a commitment. Nice. I like that reference. They're making a commitment. But what usually happens? They get down on one knee, you know, like, right? And they say, "Will you marry me?" They're asking a question, right? So, yeah. So, they're asking a question, "Will you marry me?" Right? But I want you to think of that sort of the same way when it comes to a U.S. amendment, because getting married is a big life change, right? It's a change in the way you want to live the rest of your life. You want to live your life differently, right? So an amendment is a change. Okay, Courtney? An amendment is a change to what we had in place to begin with. So we had the Constitution, which is the structure of our whole government, but then oh, we want to propose an amendment, okay? It's like, will you marry me? No, will you change, we'll make this change to our government, okay? We're changing the way our government runs by the 27 amendments, okay? The process to propose an amendment is very complex, very difficult, okay? That is why we only have 27 over 200 years. Because it's very difficult to get an amendment to be passed, okay? To this date, we have had 11,000 amendments proposed, okay? Only 27 have made it through, okay? There have been amendments, people have tried to put amendments through, but they don't make it through the process, okay? Recently, just to connect this to current events, you know, with the Electoral College, you know, people very upset about the election, not happy with the results, thinking that we shouldn't have the Electoral College. That's built in our Constitution. It says exactly how the Electoral College should be run in our Constitution. So in order to change that and say we want to have the popular vote count, they would have to make an amendment. Okay? And this is what would have to happen. You can see it better on your screen. Okay? You can even blow it up, make it bigger if you want. Okay? Stretch it out. Okay? So this part here. All right? So, there are two ways that you can ask for a change. Right? I'm getting down on my knee, like, ask that to make that change, right? Proposal. You can make it by Congress. Congress has to make a proposal. Okay? But the numbers in Congress, 2/3 of Congress has to agree to make that change. Okay, so whoever is proposing the marriage, right? 2/3. Okay? So we have how many in Congress? We're talking about Senate and House of Representatives. How many? It's equal to the amount of electoral votes we have. 270 is the number for a majority. And that's just over half. So how many? 538. So we have 538 total electoral votes, and those all represent Congress members. Okay? So 538. You guys have a calculator in your Chromebook.
Yeah.
Give me 2/3 of 538. Oh, everybody, yes. Ashley, it's you too. Use your calculator. 538. How do you get 2/3? What's the math problem? How do you get 2/3? There's a couple different ways you can do that. Anybody?
Like 2.3 and divided by 138.
Is it 538?
Yeah, 538.
530. So 2.3 divided by? Are you sure? What'd you get? What number did you get?
I got 0.
No, that's not it. Okay, 2/3. So is it? Could it be?
Get your mouse, please.
What's the decimal for 2/3? 6.66. Right? So 538 times 0.66. Who can get that for me?
Wait, what?
538 multiplied by 0.66. What?
322.
Is it 322?
0.8, right?
Yeah, that's close enough. 322 congressmen would have to agree to propose that amendment. So if we wanted to change the electoral college system, we would have to have, out of those 538, we would have to have 322 congressmen say, yes, we want to change that. Does that seem very likely? Does that, raise your hand if you think that could happen for the electoral college, like today.
No.
Okay. Anybody disagree? Raise your hand if you disagree. If you think that we couldn't get that many congressmen to say that change. Raise your hand. Nobody? Wait, let me rephrase that. Now, you wanted to mention something about that. Go ahead. No? You don't have anything to say? So what do you think about that? So 322 congressmen would have to say, we want to change the electoral college system. Do you think that's possible today?
Yeah.
Yes? Raise your hand if you think it's possible. Yeah, sure it's possible. Sure. But we just had an election, right? We just had an election that was, and Trump ended up getting 306 electoral votes over the 270 majority. Okay, that's 37, right? 36, yeah, 36 electoral votes over the majority of 270. Okay, that's big. That's like a big difference. There's a lot of people who think that that couldn't happen today because it was such, like if it were very close to 270, I think it would be more likely that we could do that, right? But we have too many already, 306. So I do have an update on what happened there. How many of you have been following the news with the elector? Like yesterday was a big day, December 19th. Anybody catch that on the news?
No.
No? You remember me telling you for November 8th, that was the election day, right? But there's a special day that the electors, okay, the people who represent, so Virginia has 13 electoral votes. You remember me saying that that number 13 represents actual 13 people. How many of you remember me saying something like that, right? Yeah, it represents actual people, and they're called electors. So, Virginia was a blue state. Virginia voted for Hillary Clinton to be president, okay? So, before that, there's always 13, because we have 13 Democrat elector people, and 13 Republican people who are electors. But because Virginia is a blue state and went for Hillary Clinton, those 13 Democrat ones are on December 19th, go and actually physically cast that vote. And they're supposed to vote for Hillary because the state went for Hillary. Okay? Now, there was, what happened in the news yesterday, before yesterday, people on both sides were worried and concerned that some people, those electors, those people, they can actually change their mind. Okay? So, Amy, let's say that you were one of those 13 electors, okay? And you have your vote for Hillary Clinton in your hand, and on December 19th you're supposed to go and cast that vote, right? You could change your mind. Even though all the voters said, hey, Hillary Clinton, right? You could go and change your mind and vote for somebody else. Okay? A lot of people think that's not fair. Some people think that's good. You know, lots of different opinions about that. Right? But yesterday, they were worried that a lot more, because Trump had 36 more electoral votes over the majority. And they were worried that there was going to be so many changing their mind that it was possible Hillary Clinton, it could be overturned and have Hillary Clinton win.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's what they were talking about before yesterday. Okay? But that would mean that 37 of those electors would have to change their mind. Okay? And they thought that was possible. They actually were like, yes, that might happen. It could have been last night that they would say, hey, 37 of those people changed their mind. Hillary Clinton is now president. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could happen. Okay? But if you're following the news, it did not happen. Okay? So what actually ended up happening, that there were 2 Trump electors, okay, that changed their mind. They didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, though. They voted for third-party candidates, other people, okay? There were 4 Hillary Clinton electors that changed their mind, but they didn't vote for Trump. Yeah, third party and other people, okay? Didn't make any changes. In the end, Trump, yeah, still has 304 electoral votes. He had 306 when we elected on election day. He now has 304 because those 2 switched their mind, okay? So just interesting, pretty interesting with what we're learning here too, because people can change their minds, right? So you need to have 322, back to this, you have to have 322 congressmen to propose. And then, if that happens, then the states have to vote it in. So say we wanted to change the electoral votes, 322 have to propose it. If it gets proposed, then 3/4 of the states have to pass it in. We have 50 states. What's 3/4 of 50? I know it's early. You guys don't want to do math right now in civics class, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. It's 38. So if 322 proposed it, Natalie, 322 congressmen, if it made it that far, then 38 states have to say they like it and vote for it. Okay? All right, moving on. So, next page. Turn to this one. Everybody should be on this page. Okay, so what you have on this page tells us a little more about that process. Okay? So, this tells us a little more about Virginia. Okay? Because as you know, we have a U.S. Constitution. Okay? We have a U.S. Constitution, and every one of those 50 states has its own constitution. Okay? So we have the Constitution for the U.S., which is stronger, let's say, stronger than the state's constitution. But the U.S. Constitution deals with federal or national law. Okay? Each state, like the state of Virginia, has its own constitution, which only deals with Virginia laws. You know, because U.S. government takes care of some of the things in our government, but then they pass on some things to the state, for the state to take care of. Okay? So, I was having this conversation with one of my students this morning, and they had mentioned to me that, hey, Fairfax schools, they're not in school today. They're not in school today. That's not fair. And I was like, well, let's look at how many days they have in school. The state, it's the state's job to set that number of days you have to go to school. It's not the national federal government. You know, they don't say how many days. If you went to another state, if you were in another state, it might be a different number of days you have to go to school. So that also changes when you go to different school districts. Okay? So Fairfax has a different number than Alexandria. And they set their calendar. They have different policies. Here, we go to school 183 days. The requirement from the state is 180. Okay? But Alexandria says, no, we're going to go 183. And if we have three snow days, then we don't have to make up those 3 snow days. Okay? Fairfax does it way different. They actually, I believe, from what I saw, they go more days of school. So when it seems like they have more days off, it's really not the same. They actually go more days than we do. in the calendar, okay? So, because the students this morning were jealous that they had today off, right? But they actually, I think they go more days than we do, okay? So what my point here is that the state and the counties and the cities, they divide up what laws and rules and policies they make, okay? So in those policies for the state, okay, in the amendments, you have amendments to the Virginia Constitution. The proposal, action by, and what's it say here? Okay, and you have a word bank. Action by, what's it say? No, General Assembly. So I want you to fill in that box. Action by General Assembly. Okay, fill that in.
Oh, you don't slide it?
No, it doesn't slide. It doesn't drag and drop. You have to type it in. There should be a text box already there. Okay, so that's proposal. But ratification, which is a fancy word for passing it, approval, okay? What's the other word left? In Virginia, it's voters. Okay? So I want you to type in that number 2, ratification by voters of Virginia. Voters in the second one. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see voters. So in Virginia, for Virginia constitutional amendments, it's slightly different. Okay? When Virginia wants to change their amendment, they get the proposal by the General Assembly, which is the legislative body, we've learned, and then it has to be passed by the voters. It will be on the ballot. Like on November 8th, there was an amendment change there, and the voters had to vote on that. Okay? So when you went to the polls, when your parents went to the polls on November 8th, they not only had to vote for president, they had to vote for that Virginia amendment. Okay? So there's extra things to be added to it. Okay? All right. Go to that third page in that slide, in the slides. And this is a new thing that I want to share with you, right here. Okay? I know this looks a little goofy, right? You got a snowman. We're all looking forward to snow days, right? No. No, you're not? Okay. All right, so Ben Hanan, this is drag and drop here, okay? But the first thing I want you to do is fill in right here, proposal. You should have a text box here. What's proposal mean? Who can give me a definition? We've talked about it. Proposal.
A change.
It is, proposal is ask for a change, right? Okay? You could put ask for a change. And mine's not exactly working, so I can see if I can type in there. Natalie, is that typing in there? Ask for a change. Okay, good. All right. What about ratification? What's that mean?
Approve.
What?
To approve.
Approve. To approve. Good. Okay. Now this was your warm-up question. What are the 2 ways? What does that say, Ben Hanan?
2 ways to propose an
Yes. So what are they? 5.
Congress convention.
Congress and blessing?
Convention.
Convention. Good. Congress. Convention. Okay? All right, so you have all that filled in. Now this part is drag and drop. And this here's, yes, it's a snowman, but this is a nice way to remember these things. So on the SOL, you might have a question that a couple questions that deal with this. And it might be hard for you to remember, okay, which one is it that's 2/3 and which one is it that's 3/4 and what is that? Okay? So the first thing I'd like you to do is pick up the proposal piece, right? So I'm going to show you that. So the proposal piece, that is right here. Find it. Right here. Okay, so click on this, and you should be able to find those handlebars, the crossbars. When it comes to the crossbars, you can pick it up and move it, right? Okay, proposal should go all the way up here. Okay, actually, right in the middle of the head and the bottom part, or the middle part there. Proposal. Okay? And then, ratification. Ratification, that proposal, or that approval part. Here. Okay. Find my mouse again. Everybody find where, while I'm trying to look for this, ratification. So pick up ratification, right? Okay. Whoops. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I got it. So, there we go. There's mine. Okay, so I want to pick this one up, and I want to put this one down here. Like right there. Okay? So proposal, ratification. Okay, so now what I can do, I want to fill in, okay, what are the two ways that you get a proposal?
By convention.
By Congress, so Congress goes in the head, okay, and then what else?
Convention.
Convention, so pick up convention and put that in the middle. You see how I have Congress here, convention here, right? Okay? Then we have some other pieces still to fill in. How does it then get approved? How does ratification happen?
By the state.
By the states. So you have states over there, and I want you to put states here. Mine's not exactly right there, but get it right in the middle there. Okay? So you have Congress, convention, states. Proposal, ratification. Okay? Now, you have these boxes of 2/3 and 3/4, right? So for proposal, you're going to want to have 2/3. So I want you to place it so that the 2 goes closest to the head of the snowman, and the 3 goes in the middle of the snowman for 2/3. Because you have to have 2/3 of Congress to propose an amendment. Okay? And then you're going to come and pick up the 3/4.
The other side.
No, you're going to actually place it so that the 3 covers up the other 3. Okay? Look at this. So what you end up having, because you need 3/4 for ratification, 3/4 of the states. Okay, you with me? And you're covering up that 3 so that it makes it easier to, when you look at the whole thing at the end, it says 2, 3, 4. Okay? Proposal, ratification, Congress, convention, states. Okay? So how does this help us remember what we just learned? How might this help us? Yes?
It tells us steps.
It tells the steps. Okay? How many of you know before an SOL, you're given note paper, right? And a lot of times you think, oh, that makes sense for math. I sit there and, figure out things. But it should make sense for every SOL. They do give you paper if you want it. Okay? So there's a couple things like this that I'm going to expect you to draw out on your note paper when you're given it. Okay? This is one of those things. You're actually going to make, the snowman. And you don't have to make the face and everything on it. Just do 3 circles. And you know that Congress, convention, states, proposal, ratification. Okay? And you have all of these pieces. So we have about 1 more minute. What I'd like you to do, your exit ticket, is to turn this in that assignment on Google Classroom. Okay? Go ahead and attach it. Remember, you have to go in and you have to attach it. Proposal, Congress and convention, right? Oh, the definition?
Everybody don't.
Okay, so ask or change.
How's that?
Are we good? You okay? Yeah. You gonna turn it in? Everybody know how to turn it in? Oh, yes, ma'am.
My spider got believe it.
So, go into your
Calm down, man. What are you doing?
Bishop camera is doing that.
That's right now. Thank you. You're welcome. You good? So let's talk about how you turn this in. Hear my voice clap once. Hear my voice clap twice. Okay. You go back into Google Classroom. Oh wait. Some of you have done this, some of you haven't. You have to go into that assignment again and click Add. Does not add by itself. You have to go into the drive and attach that. Make sure you attach it. I'm taking it as a grade for an exit ticket. You may be dismissed. Make sure you've done that.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Not so bad, right?
That was great.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Thank you for your help.
Ron, you barely do anything. Where's the mirror? I swear, he doesn't do work.
You are so funny. So funny. You are so funny.
I was worried that's why I didn't want to go.
That's great. What do you want? Okay, guys, you will warm up.
You saw that?
You saw that? Yes. Sure, but do the dishes, Alonzo. No Alonzo germs on there, okay? Clean all the Alonzo germs off. You got too much work for you? What should we do? You good? Excuse me?
I thought it was like a smart one.
got $10. That can't get out.
Ain't nobody.